The Wally Show podcast is our daily radio show heard live through the WayFM app each morning and hosted by Wally, Gavin, and me, Betty Rock. For more fun, be sure to connect with us at wayfm.com/Wally.
The Wally Show podcast is brought to you by Colorado Christian University Online, where you can earn a degree online just like Betty Rock. You can learn more at ccu.edu/Wally. Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Betty.
Finding a potential love match out in the wild seems to have become more and more rare in the 21st century. Some of you are lucky. Others of us are less lucky.
It can be challenging, I would assume, being in the dating world right now.
Yes. And these days, many singles use online dating apps, which is much easier, especially when you're a busy single. But now these apps like Bumble and Hinge are trying to make it even easier by using AI. So how it could eventually work is you would sit down and have pretty much a counseling sesh with a computer dating concierge, okay? Because if you think about it, if you could hire a dating concierge, actual person, and then they would take all that information and then find you potential suitors.
Like that movie with Will Smith and Kevin James.
Yes. Yes. Okay. But this is more of a computer dating concierge. Okay. It would take all the information you give it, like your what you're looking for in a potential match or any trust issues you have, and it could create an avatar. So that's an icon or figure that would represent you. And that avatar would go on virtual dates, meaning online dates, with other avatars that are representing other singles.
Okay.
It sounds like a video game.
Well, it does, but I see where they're going with this, because then the AI dates for you, and if the AI relationship works out, then that's where you then would maybe meet that person for real.
Exactly. So
Weird.
you would come home and after your long, busy day,
Yeah.
and you would log into your profile and you would get with your dating concierge, and this computer would tell you, hey, these are the avatar dates that went really, really
Yeah.
well. You should probably meet them in person.
It's like having a dating Tamagotchi, kind of thing.
Oh, it is. I love Tamagotchi.
The irony is I can see Betty finally doing this. Her avatar would get married and she'd get broken up with.
and I'm invited to be the bridesmaid.
Yes, exactly.
Great.
Monday School is a chance for Wally to share what he learned at church and prove that he went.
So it's no secret that we live in a super self-absorbed, ungrateful world. But even inside of that, as believers, we're called to be different. And I know we can act the same way sometimes, but we're called to be different. We need to look different. Colossians 3, the Apostle Paul is writing to the church at Colossae, and he says, set your mind on things above and not on earthly things. He goes on to say, put to death your old nature, clothe yourself in kindness, gentleness, and patience. Forgive as God forgave you, and be thankful. And so that was kind of the area like our pastor honed in on, was the being thankful. And so if you want to see your life change, embrace gratitude is kind of the point here. There's a correlation between peace and thankfulness. Like if you want peace in your life, be thankful. It's hard to be envious if you're grateful. It's hard to be angry if you're grateful. Like that's like the baseline for having your perspective changed a little bit.
And I think there's a part of that we can do on our own.
Absolutely.
In our brokenness. But I think sometimes we really do need a close relationship with God to actually find thankfulness in a difficult time.
Well, our pastor asked a very poignant but simple question. He said, do we complain more than we're thankful? And my wife almost snapped her neck looking at me like, I'm like, what? What are you looking
Don't you
at?
hate when she does that?
Oh my goodness gracious! I'm like, I know, I get it. Like, do we complain more about our spouse than we thank them personally, or are thankful for them? Do we complain more about our job than we're thankful to be working? Are we frustrated by our kids more than we're thankful for them? And like all of that stuff, you're like, yeah, I mean, I totally get that. So with gratitude comes joy. If you can learn to be thankful wherever you're at and whatever hardship you're enduring, then joy will follow. And I have a story that he did. I'm running a little short on time. I have a story that he talked about that will really, really, really challenge you on thankfulness And when you look at this person's situation and how they found the ability to be thankful, it definitely convicted me. And so we'll do that in 10 minutes here on The Wally Show. But only if you want to be convicted and maybe make some life change. If you don't, do something else in 10, okay? Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. Today we have a Monday School Part 2 because it was a little long, but I think it's really important.
Convicted Wally a lot.
yeah, exactly. Did some work on me. It's about being thankful. I was telling everybody a few minutes ago how the whole thing was about being thankful and do you complain more than you're thankful? And my wife's neck snapped looking at me. And I'm like, yeah, I do. I have a tendency to complain a lot. And the whole point of this was that we're supposed to look different than the world, and that if we are grateful and we have gratitude, that joy will follow that. You can learn to be thankful whenever and whatever hardship you are facing, and you can actually have joy even in it. And really, you might be going, "You're right, Lord. You don't know my situation," or "Right, Wally." Okay, but listen to the example that our pastor gave during this. Are you familiar with Corrie ten Boom and her sister Betsy?
No.
Ten Boom. They're
I've heard the name.
The hiding place. They were their family hid people that the Nazis were trying to kill during the Second World War.
Okay.
And they saved hundreds of lives, but eventually they got caught and they were sent to concentration camps. And so before this, as they are being sent to one of the worst labor camps, they somehow smuggled a Bible in with them, which shows you how important God was to them, because that could have ended them instantly there, you know. So they're put into the worst barracks in the camp. It was filled with fleas. And so one night they were doing a Bible study with their one Bible that they had, and Betsy said, "You know what? We should be thankful for the fleas." And so I know Betty's face was like, "Wait, what?" And then everyone, and I'm sure that every woman in this barracks said the exact same thing, because they are in the worst of the worst situation. They're seeing the worst that mankind has to offer right now. They're being treated like not even human, like less than dogs. And inside of this lady says, "Let's be thankful for the fleas." And because Corrie was writing about this, and she said, basically, the fleas are so bad that the guards won't come in here and bother us. So that's why I'm thankful for the fleas. We get to have this Bible study because of the fleas. Women are coming to Christ because of these fleas. So I am inevitably thankful for these fleas. Now, that's what I said. I have the same face Betty has right now. I was like, dang. And I was complaining about two-factor authentication for my passwords last night like a nutcase, you know? And I'm like, okay, well, that is next level. Betsy actually died there. Later, Corrie was released by a clerical error, and just a few weeks after she was released, that whole barracks was sent to the gas chamber.
Whoa.
Yeah, I mean, heavy stuff. But in the midst of all of that, here are these women that were thankful for the fleas and thankful to God and found some sort of joy in the unimaginable. So if you think you've got things to complain about today, you might want to revisit those thoughts.
Man,
you know,
it's a good reminder.
Oh, I know. I mean, like, compared to my life, I have zero reason to complain, and
well, I don't know.
should
When
be
they get
extremely...
that coffee order wrong, come on.
Thank you.
It's your job.
You know what, Rock? Wrong perspective, but thank you for putting me back on track. No, but it's reason. I think this is, another great lesson, but it's also a reason why we play songs like this. Gratitude by Brandon Lake. I love this song, and it's a great reminder of exactly what we're talking about right now.
All my words fall short. I got nothing new. How could I express all my gratitude? I could sing these.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. I don't know if you remember back last week, because I've already tried to forget it. No, if you remember last week, we were doing our support drive, and you probably heard us going nuts on Friday with, man, things are moving great and people calling in and people doing amazing things and hitting, matches and challenges and stuff. And it was such a great event. And we go through it and we're in that moment, but then sometimes we don't always celebrate after when something really great happens.
Right.
And the reality was we ended up hitting the goal for support
Yes,
drive.
we did.
And when I say we, I mean you ended up hitting the goal for support drive. And we could not be more thankful for your stories that you shared, your generosity inside of that. Just a great, great event.
Well, because sometimes when you share your story and then we read it on the air or you tell it on the air, that inspires others to want to get involved.
Yeah.
And we tell people all the time, when you hear those stories, you can take ownership in that, knowing that you played a part. You said yes to what God was doing here through the ministry of Way FM, and now you get to play a role in all of
I
that.
loved every bit of that, and I loved hearing people share their stories. And so this is 1,000,000,000% just a thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much for choosing to get involved and for choosing to be a part of the family.
And also, too, thank you because Wally didn't end up in the ER.
I didn't.
He didn't have to take, I don't think you had to take extra heart medicine.
I did not.
Or I didn't see you do.
No.
You also didn't have to use your blood pressure cuff,
I
which
didn't
is
have-
a blessing.
I didn't have a kidney stone. Like, this was a rare, great event for me. So I lived to tell about it today. So I'm very
Yes.
thankful. So, and all of that to say, again, just thank you for listening to Way FM. And if you chose to support it, thanks for being part of the fabric of Way FM and making sure that it's there for other people.
And now for some good news.
Uplifting Way FM. This here's the Wally Show with a little good news. Giddy up. If you have watched the regular news for any length of time, you know it can be a bit depressing. That's why we do good news. Giddy up. A couple rapid fire news stories coming at you designed to make you feel better. Gavin, let's start with you. Good news. Giddy up. Go.
All right, a 91-year-old in Missouri named Sam donated $500,000 to his town's volunteer fire department. He's lived there since 1960 and found out their budget was non-existent all their years from like the 80s and the 90s. They only had $169 in their account.
Oh,
Now they're
wow.
getting
That's
all new
bad.
stuff, new trucks. This guy's a hero.
You can't even put out heartburn for $169,000.
No, you can't.
Betty, good news. Giddy up. Go.
2 super fans just got married at Buc-ee's gas station. If
Oh,
you've never
nice.
been
Nice.
to a Buc-ee's gas station, do yourself a favor and find the nearest one by you and go, because it is God's gift to humanity. And I don't think I'm selling it.
No.
You're not overselling.
Yeah, I think
No, I
yeah.
renew my vows there.
If any, well, these 2 super fans, they got married there, and maybe I didn't even know it was a thing. Like, maybe you want to get married at a Buc-ee's. Now it's actually possible. Their mascot, Bucky the Beaver,
Does he marry you?
Will he
he was
officiate?
there to witness the vows.
Wow.
And he signed it with his little flipper hand. Oh, that's great.
Isn't that precious?
Yeah, that is really nice.
I really love that. And you can give, Wally loves their cotton candy taffy.
Yep.
Give that as a favor to all
Yeah,
the
you
people.
should throw that instead of rice.
Yeah.
That'd be
Yes,
good.
cotton candy taffy.
This is interesting. Dove Chocolate announced a new free career tool for mothers that might have a mommy gap. It's kind of like a break in your resume because you had a kid and you stayed at home for a little bit and then you're trying to get back in the workforce. It's called Mom Experience Translator. So it uses AI to transform mom skills into job skills. For example, wrangling your bratty kids might work better if you said you're proficient in multitasking and operational coordination.
And it's true.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
not stretching the truth.
100% true. So Dove Chocolate has that. Maybe if you want to look at that to punch up your resume if you're going back to the workforce, that could be something for you. And that's going to do it for your good news giddy up. Betty's love of crime shows has me concerned because I think that she's not learning how to protect herself, but rather how to set me up for a crime.
Oh, I for sure am.
It's a Gone Girl situation is what I'm thinking.
I'm glad I've got you right where I want you.
Yeah, that's what I feel like. You know, you need someone in your life that will set you up for success, not failure.
Yeah, and that's exactly how I felt with CCU. I mean, I felt intimidated considering going back to school as an adult after being out for so long, but I was set up for success with CCU from my first conversation all the way to graduation. Most classes are only 5 weeks long, which means you can earn your degree and still have time to do whatever you want.
Yeah, 5-week classes, that's even good for people with like ADHD. Like for
Like
me,
you.
I know I needed short classes so I could focus when I went back to school because Betty Rock and I kind of lived the same life.
Find out more about how you can pursue your passion and find your calling with Colorado Christian University at online.ccu.edu. Colorado Christian University is a nonprofit impact partner.
If you want something that feels different from the regular news, we've got you covered. It's News-ish. If you want something that feels different from the regular news,
jobs like
we've got you covered.
policeman,
It's
firefighter,
News-ish on The Wally Show.
DJ. In the list of tough jobs like
being loose with the
policeman,
term
firefighter,
guy.
DJ. There's one job that doesn't usually make the
We're being
list.
loose
I
with the
think
term guy.
we should be on that list of tough
There's
jobs.
one
and it's school
job
bus
that doesn't
driver.
usually make the list that I think they
I
should be on
100%
that list of
agree.
tough
Kids they
jobs,
deal
and
with.
it's school bus
Yeah, and they're
drivers.
making jokes about them.
I
and throwing 100% things at agree.
The
I
kids
can't
they
even
deal
imagine,
with.
like, when you
Yeah,
see some
and
of the
they're
video
making
of kids
jokes about
acting up,
them,
yeah,
and
like
throwing
total
things at
disrespect.
them.
I can't even imagine, like, when you see some of the video of
I'd last a
kids
day.
acting up,
Maybe
and, like,
that,
total
and then I'd
disrespect
probably
to the
end up
school
in
bus
this weird
driver.
world in jail.
I couldn't do it. I'd last a day.
Maybe that, and then I'd probably
can't
end up
take
in
it.
this
No, I
weird
could
world in
not.
jail.
But this is
like,
a really
I
cool
don't
thing. There was
get
a
it,
bus
but
driver in
can't take
Florida.
it.
No, I could
Who's
not.
making it his mission
but
to
this
inspire
is
the kids
a
that he
really
shuttles
cool
back
thing.
and
There
forth
was
to
a
school.
bus driver
So
in
he came
Florida
up with this idea,
who's making it his mission
to
to
have
inspire
kids
the
write
kids
down
that
their
he shuttles
favorite
back and forth
quotes
to
and
school.
messages
So
of
he came up with this
encouragement
idea
to then like write them on
to
like
have
paper
kids
and
write
stuff,
down their
and then
favorite
decorate the whole
quotes and
inside of the
messages
bus
of
with it.
encouragement.
And so
to
you got
then,
all
like,
these
write them on like
positive,
paper and stuff, and then
sayings
decorate the whole
all
inside of the
around,
bus
and
with
then
it.
hopefully
And so
maybe
you've got all
someone
these
is about to act
positive
the fool and throw something
sayings all
Information.
around, and then hopefully maybe
so he
someone
says,
is
you know,
about
I
to
want
act
to
the
make it
fool
a
and throw
better
something,
and
they look up and
brighter
say,
and a fun space.
so
he says, you know, I want to make it a better
I want it
and
to be a positive
brighter
place
and
for
a
the
fun
kids
space
and for
myself.
And he did have one condition,
there.
though, okay?
I want it
For
to
the
be a
quotes.
positive place
It had
for
to
the
have
kids and for myself.
meaning to that
And he
kid
did have one
specifically,
condition, though,
and they had
okay,
to tell
for the
him
quotes
why
they
they
had
chose
to
that
have
quote.
and I
meaning
love
to
that.
that kid
That makes it
specifically.
personal.
Exactly.
It's not just throw up
why
some
they
quote
chose
or
that
whatever.
quote.
It's like
And
they
I
have to
love
think
that.
about
That
why
makes it
this
personal.
matters to them.
Exactly.
And that's
It's
the
not
whole
just
point of
throw
that.
up
He
some
wants to
quote or
inspire them.
whatever. It's like they
And
have
so
to
think
maybe
about
take some
why
of these
this
quotes
matters to them.
and
And that's the whole
internalize
point
them
of that.
and
Is he wants to
make their
inspire them.
lives better.
And so to maybe
some
take
of the
these
standout quotes
and
were your
internalize
mindset
them
can
and
change
make
everything,
their lives
prove
better.
them wrong, never
Some
give
of the
up,
standout
never
quotes
be limited
were
by
your
other
mindset can
people's
change
limited
everything.
imagination.
Prove them wrong.
That was
Never
good.
give up. Never
Don't
be
let them
limited by
monster
other
named
people's
anxiety
limited
control you.
imaginations.
So a whole
That
bunch
was
of
good.
stuff.
Things from Mother
Don't let the
Teresa
monster
to
named
Walt
anxiety
Disney
control
But he said
you.
there was
So a
one
whole bunch of
surprise.
stuff.
Things
Things
from
from
Mother
the
Teresa
students' quotes
to Walt
that they
Disney
chose to highlight.
But he
were
said there
quotes
was
from
one
him.
surprise.
The world is a
that
brighter
few of the
place because you're in it,
quotes
and
that
they
they
chose
chose
to
to
highlight
highlight
the quotes from him.
Aw, that's so
The world is a
sweet.
Yeah, I
brighter
think
place
that's good,
because
man. I'll
you're
tell
in
you
it
what.
and stay awesome.
They have a tough job, and we need more
That's
people
so
that actually
sweet.
invest
Yeah, I think
in
that's
the
good,
kids
man. I'll tell you
that
what.
they're driving.
They have a
when I
tough
hear bus
job, and
drivers
we
go,
need more
I play
people
way
that
FM
actually
on our
invest
bus
in the kids
because I
that
want to
they're
have
driving.
that
I
subtle,
love when I hear
you know,
bus drivers
faith
go,
component.
I play way
and
FM
it's
on
my
our bus.
ministry.
Yeah,
because
because
I
that's
want to
it. I
have
mean,
that subtle,
we go to jobs all
you know,
the time,
faith component.
and it is
and it's
part
my
of our
ministry,
work, but
you
it's
know,
also a
that's it.
ministry.
I mean,
It's a mission
we go to
field for
jobs
us,
all the
and
time.
what better mission
and
field
it is
than
part
on
of
a
our
bus?
work, but it's also a ministry. It's a mission field for us, and what better mission field than on a bus? Uplifting Way FM, this is the Wally Show. And a minute ago, we were talking about one of the hardest jobs, and it's being a school bus driver. Because kids can be challenging, and there was this one driver who was telling them to put, like, inspirational quotes that meant something to them all over the bus to create a positive atmosphere. And the kids loved it. He loved it. And then this guy, John, called. And I love when we're talking about something on the show and someone has a personal perspective connected to that. And John himself was a school bus driver for a lot of years. And he kind of shared his approach with me.
Every kid I ever met has always felt love the same way. T-I-M-E.
You're absolutely right.
And as a bus driver, when I told them kids, I said, you're my responsibility from where I pick you up to I drop you off. And I said, I will fight for you. Some of them kids didn't have any parents, come to find out. But I treated them all with respect. I empowered them with their own voice. One that really hit me hard, I'm in McDonald's with my wife, and this kid and his wife and young child comes up to me. He says, do you remember me? And I looked at him and I said, yeah. You was one of the knotheads. He said, yeah. He said, but you gave me a second chance. I said, well, everybody deserves it. I said, you get a second chance. I said, why can't I? He said, this is my son. I said, yeah. He said, what's his name? He says, John.
Oh, no way.
Who in your family named John? He says, no. He said, I had a bus driver that saved my life.
That is crazy, dude. That is so cool.
That's a job you do for one reason. You love it.
That's it, man. Well, hey, dude, I appreciate you taking the time, John, and sharing your story with us, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got many more stories, but we ain't got time for all of them.
Yeah, but this one was great, man. I love it. You gave me goosebumps today. Thank you.
Well, praise God.
Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and there might be a little help on the horizon for women who suffer with postpartum depression, because they say about 1 in 10 women will experience that. And I know we have a friend that went through it pretty hardcore with her first child. I don't know about the second one as much.
Yeah, seems like she knew what to expect and be prepared for the second one.
It's interesting that you say being prepared. There's a couple things. One, there might be some hope on the horizon in the form of medicine, like they're looking at a postpartum pill, which would be fantastic because it sneaks up on people. And then the mental side of it, too, for women. I'm supposed to be having the happiest day of my life. Why do I not feel good? You know, I could see how that would totally make it worse.
Well, and as a woman, I know what it is to have your hormones play on you emotionally. And I know
someone
Wally
who's around a woman, I know what that's like too.
Wally and Gavin have seen it. So I do give fair warning, but there are times where I know why am I crying? And I couldn't even tell you why. But it's just like your hormones get out of flux and you're just in a basket case.
We were FaceTiming with my daughter last night about her work, and she's changing jobs and things like this, and she had talked about how she went and cried the other day, and then my wife looks at her, "You're trying not to cry right now, aren't you?" She was, "A little." I'm like, oh my goodness, what is going on? But this was kind of an interesting thing, though. They said look for the signs early of postpartum depression: anxiousness, hopelessness, guilt, self-harm, child harm. Like that's when it gets to its extreme level. But to be cognizant of those, and some of the things to help with this is split the household duties ahead of time before the baby arrives. Go ahead and get in new habits. You know, the family should decide who's going to take out the garbage, take out the pet, all that stuff that can basically take things off the mom's plate to help her deal with the big amount of things that she's going to be dealing with.
It's one less thing she has to think about.
Overwhelmed, exactly.
Yeah, she's already parenting a baby. She doesn't need to parent a grown baby known as her husband.
Time for herself, even after the baby's born. Small activities. Giving her 30 minutes just to help her breathe again, and not just all. My wife used to say, "I feel like all I've done is talk to a baby. I need to talk to adults, and then I show up. Well, good luck with that." And conversations, topics besides baby stuff. That was one of the things on here. Exercising and a healthy diet. That actually plays into it, chemically and mentally as well. So those are just some of the things to help out with that. But I would like to do this. We always do this from time to time with personal experiences. Is like, what do you wish people knew about postpartum depression? It's like, here's some of the signs, here's some of the stuff to maybe help alleviate it or minimize it as best you can non-chemically. But if you went through this, what I wish people knew about postpartum depression, how would you fill in that blank? 855-33-WAY-FM, because you might do two things here today. You might help somebody that doesn't fully understand it but is dealing with somebody who has it, or another mom that is like, I have no idea what's going on right now. And why do I feel this way? And you might be able to help them navigate that. So here we go. What I wish people knew about postpartum depression. Fill in that blank with us now. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. How can you help out today?
It's very isolating. You feel as a woman that you have to do it all, and you can't ask for help. And I'm a nurse, and I'm a single mom who struggled with postpartum depression, and I never asked for help. And it's very, very critical to not get to that point where you can't ask for help, because you can't do it all by yourself sometimes. And prayer is important. Like you said, diet and exercise, sleep. Let a new mom take a nap, take the baby for an hour, offer to bring a meal, but also offer to sit with the baby so she can take a shower or a nap. Let her just have some time that she's not attached to a human being. So those are the things that I would probably say were most important that I wish I had known.
Because knowing what you know now, you would have done some things differently. Like even just talking about it with somebody, I would imagine helps. Because there's probably like a little bit of a shame spiral too, I think, that you could probably go down, huh?
Especially as a believer. And that goes with, I think, mental illness and just depression and anxiety in general. But we feel like we can pray it away, or we're not a strong enough believer if if we're struggling with these things, then that's just a message we need to eliminate from the church altogether. Absolutely talk about it and ask for help. There is no shame.
Well, I really appreciate your perspective on this. And yeah, you have no idea the good you might have done for somebody today. So thank you.
Thank you guys for talking about it.
So how would you fill in that blank, Kim?
I would say I'm a labor and delivery nurse, and I also had postpartum depression with both of my daughters. And the biggest piece of advice is that it is normal, and it happens to most women in some varying degree. It's not talked about enough. We expect the moms to just be able to get up and carry on about their day as though nothing has happened, but their hormones, the exhaustion, everything is playing at it. And so what I would say is take care of yourself. The family around them will most likely notice the changes, but just think, oh, she's tired or whatever. But they can notice, hey, she hasn't been out of the house in a week. She hasn't taken a shower in 4 days. She hasn't been able to change her clothes. She hasn't napped more than 30 minutes at a time. And so all of these things will play into it. But if they're able to get outside, get some sun, somebody come over and hold your baby for an hour while you go do whatever you want. We have a different culture here in the U.S. that says the mom should be able to do all of it and manage all of the other children, and the family can really help out with that.
I love it. That's an awesome perspective. So, Donna, how would you fill in this blank? What I wish people knew about postpartum depression.
I wish especially Christian women knew. I'm sorry, this is still emotional for me 38 years later. But I wish they knew and would know that it doesn't make them a bad Christian or a bad person. They're just going through a season. I had 4 children, and the postpartum was with number 1, and it got worse with the consecutive pregnancy.
Oh, really?
And being in ministry, my husband's a minister. The guilt was overwhelming because I just thought I should know better than to feel like that or be like that. I didn't want anybody coming to the house. I didn't want to see anyone. I had no suicidal thoughts or anything, but I just felt like if I died, it would be better.
And that isolation just makes it worse.
It really did. And at the time, 38 years ago, you didn't go to counseling for Christians. That was almost a shameful thing.
Right.
I would just encourage, especially Christian women, get some counseling. And the other advice that's given has been great. Get out, get exercise, eating healthy, all of those things I learned eventually over time, but it was a real struggle for me.
Well, I appreciate you taking the time, even though it's really hard for you, even 38 years later, to talk about. You know that there's somebody that's listening right now that is where you were, and so you might have given them the strength to step out, so thank you.
I pray that I did. Thank you so much.
Things you didn't know you needed to know today. It's News-ish with Gavin.
The year 2024 has been an interesting year when it comes to natural phenomenons, from the eclipse that happened a little while ago to the now utterly horrifying arrival of cicadas across the country. And then to this last weekend, people across the country got to experience the Northern Lights. Kind of.
I'll tell you, it was weird. My wife, it's on her bucket list to see the Northern Lights, so much so that we're trying to plan a trip somewhere to go do it. And so she started seeing on Facebook, 10:30 at night. We're already done. Like, we're done for the day. 10:30 at night, she starts seeing people on Facebook posting about seeing the Northern Lights, like just a few neighborhoods from us. Like, what? And she gets all excited about it. And then I asked the question that
You shouldn't have done it.
Should not have asked. If I didn't want to go, I should not have asked. I'm like, well, do you want to get in the car and go drive and see, like, if we can find a darker place where you can see it better? Yes. So then I get dressed and put my flip-flops on, and we go out to a field, a pitch black field, and I'm walking around getting my feet wet because of the dew. And you could not see it with your naked eye.
Yes.
Which was what was really weird. Like some places, most places you see it and the lights are dancing. You had to take it on night mode with your phone, and then you could see it. And we could kind of see like a difference in the lighting, but we couldn't see the dramatic things that everyone else was
posting. You wanted to see the actual, something you might see in a movie or on a stock video on YouTube. And that's what most people experience. This is the furthest south the aurora's gone in almost 20 plus years. But in my head, the eclipse got so much hype going into it. I didn't know this was a thing. I was one of those people that woke up the next morning, saw the photos, didn't know that was the thing. I thought that was going to be way cooler than an eclipse. But to find out that you had to go outside when you could just be taking a really good, nap or being asleep, you had to go out there and turn your phone on. In my head, and some people were saying this felt more akin maybe to just watching it on YouTube or putting it on a screensaver.
I don't regret going and trying to find it because it was something that she really loves. And so for me, making that effort and being like, hey, let's go try to find it. It was a cool thing. We were out from 10:30 when we left till about midnight. And I'm old. I don't do that late stuff anymore, and but we went and we had medium to small success with it.
But if you were given the option, would you do it again?
Absolutely. It made her happy. 100%.
No, I thought you were going to say absolutely not.
Oh, no. I 100% would. Yeah. I mean, that was for her, not me, honestly. Or I'd get her an Uber. Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. And moms have a tough job. I am the first to admit that I know what my wife did as a mom, and she's amazing. And she deserves what she gets.
I think all of us in this room would agree that she deserves whatever she wants. To raise a child like you and not lose her mind.
Yeah, absolutely.
God was on her side.
Without a doubt. But I am curious, okay, if you were to have to do a spreadsheet as a mom for what you do to deserve that gift you got on Mother's Day. My wife, I got her an Up lamp from the movie Up. It's one of our favorite movies. And I saw them online. My wife had seen them, and she's like, I don't even know you can get these. And so I found one. Turns out it was just on Disney.com. It was I thought it was going to be a much harder thing to find, and so I found it, had it in 2 days. It was great. But she loved it, and so for all the times that she would take Haley to multiple things and get things done, and still come home and do make dinner or take care of us, I was like, yeah, you deserve this. If it's a spreadsheet, you're still coming out way under what you deserve, even with this really cool Up house that I did find you. So 855-33-WAY-FM. This is a chance for you as a mom to not so much brag a little bit, but just to have people understand, maybe men that don't fully understand what you do and why you are so deserving of that bottle of Chanel No. 5 that you just got.
And I think it's safe to say the more ridiculous of things you have to tolerate, the better.
Absolutely.
We want to know it.
Absolutely. 855-33-WAY-FM. That's 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show, and this is the problem with moms. I figured it out here. They're too selfless. Yeah. We were talking about, if you were, because we could never actually calculate a mom's worth accurately, but what are some of the things that you do as a mom that make it worth the gift that you get for Mother's Day? Because you're never going to come out ahead no matter what we get you. Even new cars would probably not be equitable for what moms do. And so Betty Rock had posted this online as well. And what was the answer most moms gave?
I don't deserve a gift. My kids are my gift.
Yes.
Like a classic mom would say.
Ask this question to dad. She's going to get a laundry list. This is what I do. And this is why I deserve more than socks, kids. Father's Day, let's get it right this time. And so I am curious, though, okay? Working off of this, just so that people, maybe even husbands, maybe kids, understand what goes into being a mom that maybe they don't see, okay? And it's not bragging. And the things that we get moms for Mother's Day pale in comparison to what they do. So I'm curious, what are those things that you do as a mom that maybe even go unseen by the family or by the kids, and that I would say make you deserving of everything that you get? So 855-33-WAY-FM. You can weigh in on this. It's fine. Again, not bragging. 855-33-WAY-FM. We'll take yours now. What are maybe some of those things that you do as a mom that maybe go unnoticed that the family doesn't necessarily see?
I was a single mom, young, and my son was really tiny. He didn't eat much, and we didn't have much to eat. So I would wait till he's done eating because, kids pick and I would eat his food.
Oh,
afterwards.
wow. But you let him go first. Holy cow.
Right.
See, that's mom level stuff
Oh,
there, man. That's selflessness.
Thank you.
Now, with him grown up, I mean,
He should take you to lunch a lot.
Yeah.
I know, right? But I can't. He's bigger than me now.
Oh, really?
Does he eat all your food?
Yeah.
So what's yours, Danielle?
I tell my daughters that I know goes unseen is that my organs literally shifted for their life. Literally shifted. So I deserve every gift. All the mothers deserve all the gifts. I'm not saying that we don't at all.
I absolutely love it. You are absolutely right, girl.
Thank you all so much. I love your show.
All right, Dana, you're up. What do you do as a mom that maybe goes unseen by other people?
Well, we have 3 older children, 16, 19, and 24. And then we just adopted a young sibling group that are 3, 4, and 5.
Oh, wow. How old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 50, and my husband is 51. Yes, I know. Well, we were fostering with them, and then things went south, so we ended up adopting, which is great. But the 5-year-old and the 3-year-old, we have found out, are high-functioning to mid-functioning autism.
Okay, so you got some extra challenges.
And so, yes, and so a lot of people don't see the challenges that we have daily, hourly sometimes. And the 4-year-old has his own trauma-related issues. But, they're a blessing, and God is good, and He placed them where they need to be. But I still need my special day.
That's right. Well, you have earned it. You were done. You were done. I know I'm not telling you anything you don't know.
I think God just didn't make me to have an empty nest.
Yeah.
He knew I needed babies to take care of.
That's awesome. No, in all seriousness, I respect you more than you know, because I'm in that empty nest phase and I do enjoy it. And so I know what it would be firsthand to go back and raise little kids again. So you have my utmost respect, girl.
Well, thank you. God is good. That's all I can say. He blesses us daily.
And he has that great sense of humor.
Oh, my gosh, he does. And sometimes I don't think it's as funny as he does.
Growing up in poverty has never been easy for children, but with the added challenges of the pandemic, conflict, and natural disasters, families around the world are facing an unprecedented food crisis. Unfortunately, those who are already hungry are now even more desperate. But by sponsoring a child through compassion, you can help provide life-sustaining essentials such as food and clean water. And with your compassionate support, that child can not only survive, but also flourish. You can find out how and choose a child to sponsor when you click on the compassion banner at wayfm.com.
Uplifting Way FM. If it's trending, streaming, or starring, Betty Rock's got it on The Rock Report.
It's true that when you travel to different countries, similar situations are handled in different ways. It just depends on how you're brought up. And that's even true for TV shows and movies. So I found this list where non-Americans were asked to share the top things they see in American films that leave them confused.
Okay, like culture differences, basically.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. So the first one is the reason why we use the word like so much.
Oh.
They don't understand why we do it.
Like when we like
you just did it 3 times, 4 times.
And my dad has been getting on to me for that for 20 plus years.
Yeah, my daughter does the same things. I've had to tell her, hey, remember, if you're going in for an interview, you need to be cognizant of that because it is such a part of our vernacular every day, but it definitely doesn't put you in the best light.
And I love, too, that we're all concentrating on making sure that we don't
say it. I know.
Another one is why Americans try to stop a natural disaster. If you think about it, Tom Cruise was in a movie. I don't remember what it was, but I think it was a tsunami that was coming through. And he took it upon himself to try and stop it. This has happened in Dennis Quaid.
Yeah. Day After Tomorrow. Yeah.
There was like this big ice storm.
And yeah.
What's wrong with not wanting to die?
I know. I don't know.
I think it's just that they wonder how do Americans think that they are
bigger
powerful enough to stop a natural
like
disaster.
the Canadians are just going to roll over and take it. Not us. Not America. America!
Okay, and this last one is something that I actually, being from America, I have a problem with. And that is why no one says goodbye when they hang up the phone.
Oh, I know.
You think about it.
Yeah.
Liam Neeson, I got a particular set of skills. Now, given I understand, why would you say bye to the kidnapper?
Yeah.
But there are other situations where they're on the phone. Someone will say, you know,
got it. And then
Dr. So-and-so.
click.
Yeah, like, how do you know the conversation is over
I know.
with?
Betty
I
Rock
have
will
a
peace out
problem.
like that, though, too.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
but
Betty
that's
Ro-
you.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, there's times and I'll be like, Betty?
No, just the other
Call failed.
Just the other day, you called during my nap time. That
Yeah.
was your
Oh, that's
first
wrong.
issue.
Yeah.
But you kept going and you wanted to talk more, and I was like, okay, I gotta go. Bye.
Yeah.
But at least I said bye.
Yeah, that's progress.
You know?
Yeah.
I'm going in the right direction.
Yeah, you are, actually. So there you go. That's going to do it for your Rock Report. Thank you, Lady Rock. Uplifting Way FM. This is The Wally Show. We're going to play a little game. You have a chance to win a prize, but you're going to go head-to-head against somebody else, but you're not going to be alone. You're going to actually be playing with each of the members of the show, Betty and Gavin. They'll be on your team to help you out. It's called the Pass-Out Game, and I will give you a question of a famous TV mom. You just have to tell us what TV show she was on. And it seems really easy, but a lot of these are older shows, so that might help you out. But you never know, Betty. You're an old soul. Gavin might struggle.
Yeah, I don't watch a lot of TV from before 2000.
All right, well, hopefully you'll be on Betty's team. Or maybe you know the answers, because that's the way it works. You have an option, like you'll get asked a question, and there's strategy in this game. You could answer it for 1 point. If you don't think the opponent will know it, you can pass it to them. And if they get it, they get 2 points. But if they miss it, it comes back to you where you could get 3 points. So you might need a big win at the end, last minute. And maybe that's a strategy that you employ to make this thing happen. But it's called the Pass-Out Game, and we're going to play with you right now. We need 2 people that want to partner up with Betty and Gavin. 855-33-WAY-FM if you want to play along with us for a prize. 855-33-WAY-FM. Uplifting Way FM. This is the Wally Show. It's time for the Pass-Out Game with Reve and Shauna. Now, Reve drew the short straw. She's going to be on Gavin's team.
Great.
Oh my goodness! I'm so sorry.
And Shauna, you are playing with Betty Rock. Now, the way this works, it's in honor of Mother's Day. Obviously, we love moms here. And so I'm going to give you some TV moms, and all you have to do is tell us what TV show they were on. Now, you can work together, talk it through with your teammate, but you can also decide to pass. If you don't want to take the 1 point and get it right out of the way, you could pass it to the other team if you think they will not know it. And if they don't get it, it comes back to you for 3 points. But if they do get it, they get 2 points. So there is some strategy involved here. Ladies first, we're going to start with Betty Rock and Shauna. Caroline Ingalls. Do you know who Caroline Ingalls, what TV show she was on? Don't shout it out. Just discuss if you think you know and what strategy you want to do.
Okay, Shauna, do you know the answer?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, I do too. But do we think that Reve and Gavin, I can tell you right now, he don't know. But do you think that Reve knows? Do we want to pass
Probably.
it? She does? So do we want to take the point?
I think so.
Okay, so
Okay.
you guys are going to take the 1 point for getting it right.
I guess so. Okay, Shauna, go ahead. Tell him.
Little House on the Prairie.
Little House on the Prairie is absolutely right.
Yay!
I'm dying to know, Reve, would you have known that?
Yes.
Okay, so
Oh,
that was
good.
good strategy on your point. Okay, here we go. Gavin and Reve, your turn now. Marion Cunningham. Gavin, you just put your head down.
I just feel like I'm going to have to give this game to Reve and let her carry me. Reve, do you know this person?
I have no idea.
Oh
man.
no. Okay, well, I mean, you could try to pass it, but they get 2 points, so it might come back to you, and maybe it'll click by something they say. So over to Betty and Shauna. Do you guys think you know what this one is?
Shauna, do you know?
I do.
Oh,
Oh,
fantastic,
no.
because I don't. Go ahead, Shauna.
Happy Days.
Happy Days is
Oh,
right. Nicely
Way to go,
done.
Shauna.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Back to Betty and Shauna. Dr. Rainbow Johnson.
Okay, Shauna, do you know this one?
I'm not sure.
Betty, do you know it?
No.
Oh, you don't? Okay.
So I think we need to pass it. We'll take the chance and see if Reve and Gavin know.
Absolutely.
Reve, do you have any idea? Because I'm still sitting
This
here.
is more modern.
Is it more modern?
Yeah.
Oh, Reve, do you know this one at all?
Yeah, I'm out.
Oh, no. All right, Betty.
Okay, it's up to us.
Make a guess.
All right, Shauna, we can guess. If we don't know, we can guess. And if we get it right, we get 3 points. And you said her name is Rainbow Johnson?
Yeah.
Dr. Rainbow Johnson. So one of those. Now, sitcom is what throws me off because I watch medical shows all the time, but I don't see a whole lot of sitcoms.
And one with the name Rainbow?
I can't think of the name.
All right.
I have a guess. I have a
Go.
guess. If you don't know, Shauna, I'm going to just take a guess.
Yes.
Take a guess.
Full House.
Oh, no. I said it was more modern. It's Blackish. Blackish. So no points there. Dr. Rainbow
Dadgum.
Johnson. All right.
Dadgummit.
We're going to take a little pause. It's still 3-0. We still have a little bit of room in this for like an amazing comeback for Gavin and Reve, and we'll see how that goes in 10 minutes here on The Wally Show. So we're up to Gavin and Reve. Gavin and Reve, can you tell me who, and I'm not going to give you the last name of this one because that would give it away, Lorelai. Who is Lorelai on? What show is she on?
I got this, Gavin. I totally know this.
To be honest, I also have this one. I know Betty Rock would get this, so let's just take the 1 point we can get.
Okay,
here.
on 3, say it together, you two. 1, 2, 3.
Gilmore Girls.
Gilmore Girls.
Yes, okay, there you go. It's 3-1. You guys are on the board. Lady
Yay.
Rock, here we go. This is yours and Shauna's. Sophia Petrillo, who do you think she is the mom on what show?
Shauna, do you know?
I recognize the name, but I'm blanking on the show.
Okay, then let's take a chance and pass it.
Okay, Sophia Petrillo.
Okay, Reve, real quick, do you know this confidently at all?
No, not at all.
Is it okay if I maybe take a stab
Go
at this?
for it, Gavin.
Maybe make a guess, because we've got to make up ground
Right.
somehow here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, do it.
I'm going to go for it. Is she from Modern Family?
No.
Oh, do we get a
You
guess?
do
Okay.
for 3 points.
Okay, I'm going to guess That 70s Show.
No, that is incorrect. It is the Golden Girls. Estelle Getty, the Golden Girls. Yeah. So, unfortunately. Well, we're gonna end this game here at Betty and Shauna, 3-1 over Gavin and Reve. A well-fought battle, you two.
Well, not really.
Not really. No, we have a lovely parting gift, and I don't blame Reve, honestly.
No, I don't either.
That's on me.
But Shauna, you and Betty are the winners today.
Woohoo!
And you love like your mother, like there's nothing to lose. You're an unsung hero, so I'll sing this song for you.
Uplifting Way FM, this is The Wally Show. The song from For King and Country, Unsung Hero, from the movie Unsung Hero, about their life and coming to the U.S. There was things like, I've known the dad in this story for a bunch of years, David, and I've known Joel and Luke from For King and Country for a long time as well. But it's interesting because there's so much of their story like I didn't know. I mean, I knew that their sister was Rebecca St. James, and this story is about them coming here and how bad everything was for them, how nothing seemed to work. Every turn they would take that would push them farther behind. And it's the story of this family and their faith. And it really is, if you're thinking that it's about For King and Country, it really isn't. It's not an origin story for them yet. They'll get one eventually. But it's more about the time of the family trying to survive and God's grace and the miracles inside of it. I had gotten invited to go to 4 premieres for this thing, and I always was traveling at the times that they had them, so I missed them all. So then I get past all the premieres, and I'm like, okay, I kind of don't want to see it, because I'm friends with them. I'm friends with the guys that produced it and directed it, the Irwins and Andy Irwin. And if it's not good, I don't want to have a conversation about it, because I will be honest. I will be forced to be honest. And I didn't want to have that conversation.
Whereas if you didn't see it, you could just say, hey, man, life
Haven't
is busy.
seen it.
You just
Yeah.
didn't get around to it.
So we finally, my wife's like, I really want to see it. I'm like, oh, okay. So we go and we see it, and I have such trepidation about seeing it, because I'm like, is it going to come off like a oversaved Christian movie? And, and it's, I mean, how could it not be heavily Christian about their faith getting them through this? It was so good. I was so relieved. I'm relieved like 15 minutes into it going, okay, this isn't going to be bad. This is really good because they showed the honesty of David, their dad.
I think you think you're giving a compliment.
It is.
Is it?
It is, yeah.
I feel like it's a backhanded compliment.
No, not at
You're
all.
I was so prepared for the worst thing ever. And then I was surprised that it actually wasn't.
But for most people who are going to go see that, they don't know them as personally
Right.
as Wally does, and they don't have to tell them face to face someday, didn't love your movie.
Right, because a movie could go either way. There are so many bad movies that are made, and a lot of them in the Christian space aren't that great. And so I'm like, okay, Joel playing his dad, fantastic. And there were like little cameos from the rest of the family, which I loved because they have a big family. And so that was fun. The heart of it is good. The thing I loved the most, because it's supposed to be about the mom and holding this family together and the things that she does. And it's true, there is an element of that. But because I'm a guy, I resonated with David and his struggles about trying and working so hard but having things fail and knowing you had to provide for your family and how hard that can be sometimes. And that landed with me. And I texted him, I said, dude, that was great. Like, I'm so glad you guys showed that. And then a friend of mine, we have mutual friends, were like, yeah, he was not thrilled with how he was portrayed in the movie. And not because of they did it wrong, but because of who he was back then and the difference man he is today. And I'm like, oh, I totally get that. Like, I get that. But I'm glad you, like, let that go and let people learn from that. And like me, it resonated. It was a workaholic, you know? And I got that. It landed with me. So I did text Joel, too, and tell Joel that I thought it was really good, okay? And you say, like a backhanded compliment. But this is why. So I text Joel. Let me find this thing. I said, hey, finally saw it. Fantastic. You did amazing as old bloke. That's what we call him. Good on you, my friend. I said some other stuff. Really well done. I even shed a few tears. True story, I did.
That's not surprising.
I know. But I loved what he said. He said, Wally, I don't take your words lightly. Oh. Thank you. Because I do. They know I'm going to be honest with them, in my opinion. And so, really, really good. Very, very, very impressed. If you want to see our interview that we did with the boys from For King and Country and their mom, Helen, who is the unsung hero in this, text the word unsung, UNSUNG, to 91979. We'll send you a link to the whole interview. And there's a couple of surprising things in there. One of the things she says about Rebecca St. James, in there and what the movie made her see her own daughter like, even though they had lived it, was really, really cool. So it's worth checking out. It's a fun interview with the whole family. So again, Unsung to 91979, and the movie is Unsung Hero in theaters now.
Well, that's the end, but it doesn't have to be. Check out our Aftercast. It's new stuff you didn't hear in the podcast. Be sure to rate us on iTunes as well as connect with us on social media. Just search Wally Show. And if you'd like to join our Facebook group made exclusively for you potties, the link is in the description of this podcast. Thanks to Colorado Christian University Online for supporting what we do.